Hello, beautifuls. Hello, hello. Welcome. We're here. We're live. We're alive. Hello. So, yay. We are hopping on the March 2024 energy reading messages and guidance a bit earlier than we usually do, which feels really exciting. Feels like we have some space to ruminate and kind of prepare our support systems for this time. So, hello, everybody. Let me know if you are here live. Say hello in the chat. Humble servant of God, welcome to the Sunbeams. Happy to have you. Oh, here we go. This is why. There we go. There we go. Computer's working. Hello, Red Mars. Hi, Shadusia. Hello. How is everyone feeling? How are we doing? I know that for me personally, I've definitely had like a lot of congestion going on and lasting a lot longer than usual. And feeling a lot of blockages in my energy and just like this back and forthness. But now I'm really feeling open and rejuvenated and yeah, alive. Grateful. Very, very grateful. So yeah, I'd love to check in. How's everyone feeling? I think this is a really important thing to check in on and see collectively. How are we doing? What is going on? Yes, blockages, heaviness. Yeah, a sense of heaviness. Something that's really interesting that I was reading yesterday was this relationship between the thymus gland and our sexual organs, and noticing that there is like a blockedness in our heart when we feel that blocked um, energy, or not even just blocked. I feel like a shrinking. There's like a shrinking or that closedness of our heart when we feel we are not able to receive, or when we're contracting, or when our sexual energy feels um, any multitude of things that would cause it to contract, cause us to close. So I thought this was really interesting that that heaviness and that like shrinking of the thymus gland can be very related to our overall energy flow within our body. Neck pain too, since 3 days. Yeah, I can resonate with that too. Mine was more soreness, and I think it's just the way I'm sleeping. But yeah, the neck pain and just like the heaviness that's going on around here, a lot of like grief energy, back and forth with like this sense of trust is also coming through too. Hi, Cosmic Wisdom. Hello. Shadusia said, yesterday was hard, did some womb clearing, and today feels better finally. I love, love, love that. I did the exact same thing yesterday. So yeah, I'm so happy that you're feeling sparkly and here and just grateful in that whole entire process. I definitely feel myself returning to creating content, which is really exciting. So this month, maybe weekly videos will be back. I don't want to say for sure because I'm really good at being like, this is what's happening. And then it turns out to be something else. So I'm going to just say that maybe these weekly videos may be coming back, some light language and things of the sort. But let's get into everything without further ado. Let's see. So as we move into March, there's a couple updates I want to let y'all know. So the Soul Circle that happens right after this live, it is now going to be hosted on Zoom. So all of my members, in the community tab of the channel, you'll see the Zoom link. That'll be at 11 a.m. PST right after this call. So hopefully you all see that, and that's okay. I know that when I'm not posting regularly, these posts don't normally get out to everyone. So I want to ensure that everyone has a chance to join the Soul Circle, even if they've never joined one before. So in the link in the description box below, and I will link it in the chat, so it's just there. You can join your first Soul Circle for free to try it out, see how it is. We've been doing this for a few years now, and it's shifted and changed with the seasons and platforms and everything. So it's nice to have it back on Zoom for a more intimate space. You saw the post about it today. Awesome. Sweet. Hi, Peter. So I'm going to put in the chat the link if you want to learn more about what that Soul Circle is. And did the coupon not work? Let me double check the coupon. I will get back to you on that one, and then at some point in here, I will, yeah, have it working. It should be monthly live 222, but I am going to double check. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Because it's not monthly live 222. Now it's monthly live 222. It's actually monthly live 333. But we're going to ignore that, and whatever is on that link that I put in the chat will be correct. I apologize for that. And Red Mars, thank you so much for letting me know. So, yeah, it's kind of funny. I was like, "Oh yeah, 333 for March." And I've been putting 222 everywhere, so I'm writing in all caps today. Yeah, 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 you know how it is. Look at how aggressive that is. It's actually exciting. It's very excited. Monthly live 222 to join Soul Circle for free. So yeah, you can join your first one for free if you've never joined one before. It's basically going to be about the energies that we're talking about today and whatever kind of arises in that space. So it's a very reflective and aligning and centering space. And I also offer more readings too. That is the update. So let's get into this next season of our lives. So, since spring is arising here, we have a seasonal reading. So, this is from this Sacred Cycles Oracle guidebook. And basically, what we're going to do, I'm going to show the three cards. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, give you a moment to breathe, set an intention, pick a card, and then from there, I'll just explain what the descriptions are and what the oracle is of that card. Okay. So, and feel free to share what you got in the chat as well. So, this one's going to be 1. This is 2. And this is 3. And the intention can also be here to receive a message for this upcoming cycle, for this upcoming season. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let's start with 1. Who got 1? Who got 1? The first one is fall, number 16. So really taking in this image and what is really shining bright for you at this time. Fall is definitely a time to start to think about how you can begin supporting yourself as you move into this new season. Where can you strengthen your support systems? Where can you bring in more support for yourself and your practices, whatever it may be? Fall is really calling us to start to prepare, but also surrender to what this new cycle has for us. So there is a sense of release happening here, a sense of rebirth happening here, but this like what it's feeling like is that it's at the beginning stages of that. So it could be at the beginning stages of that or the ending stages of this said rebirth or yeah, this releasing of a cycle, of a belief, of a thought form, of an energy, or of a relationship, whatever it may be. So this is really this opportunity to expand into what it is that you choose to see, and allowing that to come from within, allowing yourself to be guided from within in this process of, going forward from this state. It's beautiful spirals here and everything. So, yeah, this is your message if you chose card number 1 for this upcoming cycle. It could be fall, it could be spring. Ooh, okay. Number 2, if you chose number 2, let me know, let me know. Number 2, you got 38, wolf. Wolf. So once again, taking in what is immediately drawing your attention and noticing why, being curious and open to that. So the wolf is often seen as that being that continues to follow their instinct, their intuition, that gut feeling that people talk about, right? This is really allowing yourself to return to a sense of centeredness with your intuition, with your inner wisdom, with your inner vision. Really allowing that instinct to take you for a ride and for a path, towards a path in this next phase or cycle of your life, the season of your life at this point. So this is a great place to start to ask yourself, how can I begin to trust and follow more deeply? If you already do, how can I continue to do that, to trust and follow my intuition and my instincts as I move into such and this and that, as I navigate through my life? So this is really that calling back to your inner wisdom, back to your body, perhaps in a way. That calling home to the wisdom that lives within you, and within this stillness arises the ancient wisdom, the ancestral wisdom within you. So, this is that call to return to that ancestral wisdom. Perhaps that means connecting with your ancestors in this way, connecting with a specific ancestor or family member or loved one, and opening yourself up to the magic that is your lineage, this makeup of who you are and what you have to share with the world, the background that you hold to share with the world. So if you pick number two, there you are. Beautiful full moon here. We just had a full moon yesterday. The energies obviously extend out a few days before and afterwards. So we're still feeling the effects of this really like opening full moon at this time. But yeah, powerful time. Always. All right, next one. Number three. If you chose number three, let me know. 37. Bear. Look at how sweet this is. Take in once again the images, the symbols, the colors that really shine bright to you. Now, with this one, there's actually a question within the book that I'd love to read, but overall, this calling is to return home to a sense of nourishment for yourself, a sense of rest. When we think of bears, we think of their strength or their ability to hibernate, and there's a lot more to that. There's like this deep connection in this spiral that we see here. Spirals really relating to the Fibonacci, to the natural flows in nature. Often it is also related to the womb and this space of creation and rebirth and this spiral of healing of life that we often hear talking about and can really resonate with, that we are ascending on this spiral of the kundalini and whatever it may be. So there's a deep connection in your sense of strength to an ability to hold strong in who you are as you are shifting through seasons. Okay, so I'm going to actually read the question for here. Number 37. What needs, here's the question. What needs to be taken care of so I can feel safe to rest and replenish myself? So if you feel there is something getting in the way, either mentally, emotional, physically, energetically, of you holding your sacred boundaries to rest or take action in a different way, what is that? What is that? Where does it come from? Why do you feel that you need to be attached to it or affected by it? Right? So get to know yourself through this ability to practice that holding strong in your boundaries. So if you chose number 3, there you go, there you go. There we have it. Some cycles and energies, and recognize if you felt called to a couple of them. Perfect. Those are your messages for this upcoming season. In this upcoming season, I do this every few months as we have the changing of the seasons. Alrighty. Get a sip. So, hello, Ashley. Hi, love. All right. So let's get into this reading. We're going to take a few deep breaths, breathing in and releasing it out. Oh. Inhaling and exhale. Oh, perhaps with sound or sigh. One more time, maybe shining the palms up to broaden through the chest, breathing in fully, feeling your ribs expand side to side, front and back. And slowly blow the air out. As this breath extends out, the muscles of the face begin to drop, become heavier. Let's stay hydrated and breathing and open in this transmission. Some very interesting messages came through. First of all, happy birthday to all our March babies and our February babies and January babies. I'm not sure if I got everyone in the last live. So, celebration for your life, for being here during this time. Thank you for being here during this time. So, the first message here as we tune into March 2024 was a message of the moon. I'm going to pull up my notes here as well, because that will help in this moon. There we go. Okay, so the full moon that we had was in Leo. If we were to look up at the stars, it was in Leo. um, the moon in this month of March is going to be going through a lunar eclipse. Now, this is a gentle lunar eclipse. That doesn't mean it's partial or total. It just means that we may not be able to fully observe it in the way that we would a partial or total lunar eclipse. So the Earth's shadow is going to be going over the moon during its full phase in the month of March, a month from now, on the 25th. So this full moon is going to be in Virgo. And what's really interesting about it being in Virgo at this time is that being ruled by Mercury, this planet of communication, we are seeing an input and processing, I guess you could say, way of going about things during that time. So while it's a full moon and it's open and it's expansive and it's shining bright on many other things because it is a lunar eclipse as well, we are not feeling those same effects. We're more so feeling that within and allowing that to move us through setting a new pace and allowing an upstream of energy as the moon is, yes, shining bright, but also deeply hidden. And with Virgo being very tied to the goddess or the maiden or a woman that is normally related to agriculture or the earth or fertility in general, as farmers used to see this constellation and know that it was time to harvest, there's time to plant. So as we have this, also this energy of the virgin, right? We have this very fertile energy coming through, even as there is a hidden moon during its full moon phase. So the message coming through due to, I feel, this full moon, and of course we have the new moon in Aquarius or near Aquarius on March 10th, is giving us an opportunity to start to see and feel more so than see as in the sea, but more so feel the effects that the moon has on us within our waters. So really taking back our power in the sense of how it is that we are guiding the channels of chi and energy within our body. This is something that is a natural process. However, There are many ways of being that create stagnation or a buildup of energy in specific places within the body that can really have us in a place of, feeling what we were talking about earlier today, those blockages, the heaviness, and things like that. So, when we start to do this sense of clearing during this month and really checking in with the self and really processing what it is that we're moving through, this is going to offer us that opportunity to allow energy to upstream. And this was the vision that I received when it came to the importance of the moon during this month and how it is really creating a new pace and setting a new pace for us is seeing this upstream of water like returning to the top of the mountain. And immediately this was that those waters and that energy, that chi, that prana really moving all the way back up to the crown in a sense. So this is a really powerful time for those of us that have been doing this clearing work, are feeling kind of more open throughout this month. We're going to start to see through devotion, through this following of truth and taking our power back, this rise in energy here. Now, this can also be a really beautiful opportunity to allow that clearing to occur because it's going to become very obvious. And this was kind of what I wrote down, like, which is interesting. And this could be interpreted in many different ways, but I feel like this is very much related to our energy and our waters. And the moon is really this outbreak of awareness within, right? So, in this upstream of energy, as it begins to rise to the crown, as the crown, the solar plexus, and the sacral, really big energy centers for this entire month that we're going to be working on, we are starting to find the sense of not only stillness but movement in a way that aligns with the let's see how to word this. I was going to say ancestral ways, but it's more so allowing aligning them to a sense of wisdom, which for a lot of us could be more ancestral, right? And for some of us it could feel very cosmic and really return even further back into source, creator, God. So we're starting to see those energies really meeting at this time, an opportunity of meeting overall. But with this crown energy that we're seeing this rise of energy into, we are going to be met with limitations. And this is where we get to start to meet fear. This is where we get to start to meet limitations, ancestral limitations. We start to meet shame as we are also working with the sacral during this time, shame toward our sexuality, not separating those all of these different aspects of ourselves, separating each of the chakras, like recognizing our energy centers and the way that we operate is very intertwined and intermingled with our processing systems, our energy. Everything is deeply connected. So if we are denying or shaming an aspect of ourselves, how is that having an effect on the rest of our body, on the rest of our life? And I do this exercise within my programs where we create a tree. So this could be something that you could practice, but we draw the trunk, and you're the trunk, you're the center, you're that meaty part of the tree that's growing here and is seen, and then below we have the roots. The roots could be the things that ground you. These could be practices, these could be, whatever it may be, the things that ground you, the things that really bring you back to centeredness within yourself, bring you home to this source. And then we have the branches. The branches are the responsibilities and the relationships and all of the directions that our energy is outputting toward, or that we're putting our outward energy toward. So with that in mind, um what was I saying about this? I got off track. Okay, the tree and our energy and where it's going. Overall, this is a beautiful place to see where you are not allowing energy to go towards. So you actually get to look at the branches. I'm remembering now. You get to look at the branches and notice which ones do you feel vibrant in. Where do you feel are full of vitality? Which ones have the leaves? Which ones don't? Which ones have like wilting leaves? So, noticing that within the different responsibilities and places that you are putting your energy, and from that space, beginning to recognize, okay, what gets to change? Is there a conversation that gets to happen? Is there an action I get to take? Do I get to prune it completely? And why? So we get to start to look at that and really take in and process and do a little intake on where it is that we are not allowing this fullness of our tree to shine bright, right? So this is in relation to meeting our fears, meeting the shame, meeting the limitations, and noticing and recognizing how all of it is deeply interconnected. So, this is a great time to return to meditation if you have steered away at any point. We have some powerful overall energies within, I guess you could say, the earth grid or the cosmic grid, like this crystalline energy of joy and expansion. There's this really beautiful, like, colors and activations really coming through from this space. So without needing to go and meditate and be like, oh, I want to feel love, I want to do all of these things, like I want to return to this homeostasis within myself that I have chosen is my natural state of being, rather than seeing yourself and however you're feeling as your natural state of being in that current state. And from that space, coming back to a recognition that you are energy in motion, always. You are not just simply this identity that needs to show up as joyful or positive or to, be the person to take care of other people and all of these things. You don't necessarily need to show up as this identity all the time, and recognize that this is, and I wrote this in my love letter, but this could be one of those things that is causing our practices to be just tools or medications for reaching a certain destination, reaching a certain state of being. So instead of needing to be a certain way, can we start to welcome and accept what we are experiencing and feeling? Hopefully this is all making sense. I feel like I'm like talking really fast. But yes, this meditation and returning to this loving energy, and seeing it as you, seeing it as a part of you and nothing separate, not seeing source, God, consciousness, or anything as separate than you, not seeing that tree over there, the mountain, as anything separate from you, the waters as anything separate from you. You are not separate from it. And when we start to integrate this truth inside of us, these practices get to change. We don't just see these moments of practice of regulating ourselves, getting back to a certain state of being as, needing to return to love, needing to return to this. Like, no, that's what you already are. So uncover and allow the energy that you're experiencing right now to move, to be, to exist, because that is what is moving through us as a collective, right? So when I talk about the shame, the fear, the limitations, the grief, the lack of trust, these are themes collectively that are moving through us. So instead of pushing it away, what happens when we allow the wisdom of the shadow, the wisdom of the emotions, the wisdom of the energy to actually take its course? And from this place, we get to allow that rising, and we're not escaping or bypassing specific aspects of who we are. We're not bypassing and escaping, the world that it is that we are creating collectively, just to feel this one thing that is every single human being and creature, all of our relations here on earth. So, yeah, I feel you, cosmic wisdom. I know I have as well. And it's because there's like this past month, there's been a lot of heavy energies, and it's interesting to where, and raise your hand, like if you're one of these people, but when you start feeling like that deep heaviness, or you're going through a lot emotionally, I know for me personally, sometimes I pull away from my practices. Like I isolate myself. And for me, I really see this as this victim state of being. And I smile because it's like, "Oh, wow." I'm over here like, "Who's gonna fix me now? Who's gonna save me now?" And it's like, no, that's not how it works. Look at all of these tools. Look at your entire journey thus far. You can get up, make yourself a cup of cacao, and, like, really, really be here with what's happening rather than sitting in all of that wishing that you were somewhere else. So if anyone else has experienced that in some way, shape, or form, I'm with you. I'm with you. So that was a little bit of that. So moving forward from the space, and noticing the influence that the moon has on us and our ability to shift, and allow this rise of energy meeting those places within us that are rising during this month. We're also seeing ancestral energies have space to rise up as well as we are seeing this rise in energy. So just noticing, not necessarily needing to say, "This is it," because there could be so much more to it. So staying open and curious in that exploration and this presence, this grounded state of presence of what is arising, without needing to not have anything arise. Because this healed state, right? So it's going to there may be things that come up, there may be not, and just continuing to honor and listen to your inner being and your inner input, and recognizing that this is the big energy. Even though we may be moving into spring and we're ready to go and get out there, go and get out there, please. Take action, open up, share your voice, and also recognize where it is that you were moving from. Okay, really recognize that. So another interesting thing that was coming up was an amplified solar energy. So overall energy is high. It's got us feeling like, "Okay, I'm up, I'm ready to go." For some of us, it may be super overwhelming, and it may make us want to rest and relax, and we don't find ourselves in that uppity up state. What are we gonna do when that if that happens, you know? And this is just, a reflection of my journey and what I've seen with those that I've worked with, like, when we're feeling that sense of, like, going inward, even though, the whole world seems like it's going another direction, we're back in that state of wanting to be somewhere that we're not, and not fully accepting and welcoming ourselves where we're at right now. So, recognize where you are and start to welcome yourself. That's the message here. Welcome and accept what's happening so that you can allow energy to move. Because it knows where to go. And if you really want to ensure that you are, staying really very hygienic and aware of energy at this time, then continue doing rituals or mantras or, specific spells. Spell work is really powerful here, working with the earth. I'm a green witch, so I like to utilize, flower essences and just different herbs and things like around the home or my room or my space that I practice, and just really allow it to enliven and assist me and support me in that process. So utilize what is around you, the support and the love around you. Okay. This is really an opportunity, like, even if this amplified solar energy that we're already feeling, this has already been coming up. There's been a lot of solar flares going on, and it's created, whoa, it's I don't even know how to explain it, but this is how it feels. Like, it's just widening our eyes to the point where our identity and ego is like, "No, hell no. Get away. I wanna stay right here in my comfort zone." And it's like, "Okay, great." However, let's start to reprogram. What is that reprogramming? Actually, in the moment when we are thinking things that, don't align with how we choose to see things, we start to gaslight ourselves and start to have these emotions and, like, pour ourselves deeper into them because we feel victim to them. Like, so many things, right? All of these things continue the message. I'm going on like a rant here, but the message: return to listening to your heart. Return to listening to your heart, to your higher self, to your soul, your being, knowing that it's not separate from source. And you can allow source, creator, God, your guides, all of the benevolent beings to assist you and starting to look a bit deeper into what's going on here. But it's not completely necessary for you to take action and share your voice. Okay, with this amplified solar energy and this setting of a new pace the moon is offering us during this time. So, um in talking about sharing your voice and expressing yourself and taking action, I wrote down a message for everybody. Sing for truth. Sing for liberation. Let it expand our action. Let your voice expand our action. So this is a really big message that came out with this word outbreak when it came to the sense of awareness. Okay, this is amplifying voices, amplifying your voice, amplifying others, amplifying messages. Okay, it's often that in the spiritual community, or if those of us like me started this journey, this healing journey on your own. If you are that hermit type of healer, you do a lot of self-healing and there's not a lot of outward energy. We're like collective, coming together type energy when it comes to this healing. Or if you don't necessarily have a lot of people to talk to about these certain things, like this is a wonderful time and a reminder to return to amplifying your message and your voice, but also amplifying the message and the voices of those around you that you really resonate with, and allowing yourself to create those connections. Okay, this is amplifying fields of truth in the collective as we are moving through so much, a lot. And it feels silly to even use those words so much, a lot, because I feel like we have been for a very long time. But it's in this recognition that, okay, we can just sit and being, overwhelmed and disassociating, or we can start to utilize our practices, our understandings, the wisdom that we hold, and from that space begin to share in the way that you do, amplify in the way that you do. So that was a big message when it came to truth, and seeing that and sensing it, and pointing it out, or at least like curiously creating a space of question, um around the people around you. Hopefully that makes sense. This may be a message for a few of us that may have been on the fence of being more honest in our lives. And the answer is always honesty. Yes, please. We've got a lot of messages today, y'all. A lot of messages. Okay, we're going to keep going. But yes, with the moon energies, the solar energies, and these messages, we're starting to see like this waking up to feeling so much more. And sure, we can look at technology and that ability for us to start to see things and understand things, but there's also an ability to not only just see it and understand it, but to actually feel what's happening and feel that connection that we hold with the lands and the peoples. So yeah, and that really is like this ability to feel on that level of energy is an ascension of sorts, and this heat can really help us start to move things through. I put heat helps. Heat helps. So if you have the opportunity to be in the sun, or perhaps just the idea of the overall earth grid and the heating up, and seeing like, okay, what is being transformed here and helped by the sun and this element of fire. So interesting little curiosity drop there. Yeah. Okay. So a couple really sweet messages, and this is a little different than I've done in the past. These are definitely like little phrases that were coming through, so I'm just going to read them, take it or leave it. Yeah. So maintain truth of what you feel. Maintain truth of what you feel. Returning to that note that I said, that this joy, the expansion, the awakening, don't let it be an escape. Notice if we're starting to let it be an escape and we're approaching it from fear. Okay? Allow it to remind you of a way of being, a natural state of being, if you will. You have everything you need to grow. Okay? There is a rain, 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 rain. You have everything you need to grow. So notice if those things start coming up and you're like, "Oh, but I need to do this, this, and this, and this in order to do that, blah, 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 blah." No, you have everything you need to grow. If you are here right now watching this, you have everything you need to grow. Keep your promises. Or start getting more honest. Your greatest power comes from the inside out. The answers are inside you, waiting to be heard or held. And this is a quote from one of the books. Inhale the darkness, sink into your own depth. Inhale the darkness and sink into your own depth. So, the overall messages and energies for March. I felt like I was in a million places at once, but please like the video if you haven't already. If you took something from this, if any of it resonated with you, if any of it kind of opened you up to look at things a little differently, or perhaps to continue in moving toward what you feel called to already. So, yeah. These monthly energy readings are very interesting because we start to get like similar messages some of the months as well, and we start to see that. But it's just showing where we're at collectively and remembering that it is a collective reading. It's not necessarily something that's like for you personally, but really it could be on some level in the way that we're connected. Like this is happening, this is going on, and we get to shift our relationship to what that looks like. A lot of us are in a place of like not like wanting to be this higher self, wanting to be this healed person, wanting to be in a state where we're not constantly moving through so much emotion and turmoil or whatever it may be, healing within our physical body, right? Embrace yourself right now. Like this feels good. Give yourself a hug, give someone near a hug. But like a lot of us don't want to be there. But this is the aspect of us that is asking to be heard, asking to be seen, to be felt, to be heard. And some of us that are very empathic, very open to this type of stuff, I do believe on some level we're here to hold that space for this alchemy to occur. So, how do we get to change the relationship going on here instead of feeling like we need to be a certain person or be in a certain state of being in order to experience and enjoy life? Life right now and the way that humans have created it is not it. It doesn't equate to this natural state of being of love, of connection. It doesn't. It doesn't. So for us to feel like, okay, we have this choice whether we are going to continue on this healing journey, right? And allowing, the clearing, whatever is going on to happen, welcoming it, accepting it, moving forward, listening to our intuition, finding the joy that is always there and available, the gratitude more so that is always readily available to help us reframe what's happening in our mind, the fear of fear itself, the fear of the darkness itself, the fear of being in a space that Kali is constantly reshaping you, and chopping heads off and all of these things. There's a deep fear of this dark goddess that has led us to the point of our lifestyles that we are in right now. So it's no wonder that we're like, oh my God, I just want to like, I want to just like go be Moss or something, Why can't I just go and enjoy my life? And it's like, okay, what are you choosing? What is this world that you are choosing to assist in creating, to co-create? This is what we're creating, right? Their ways of being are responses. So shifting the perspective in that. Shifting in the perspective in that, and not saying that it's going to be easy, once you start bringing gratitude. Like, no, this shit is hard. It feels difficult sometimes, and this is why, like, I read in here, um well, I thought I read something. You said you're playful, Peter. Thank you. Your playful joy and sense always gives me hope. Thank you. Yeah. And the way that you're welcome. And this is the way that I like to approach things. This doesn't mean it has to be for everyone, but this has really assisted me in seeing, like, oh, there is always opportunity for us to reshape and reframe what's happening in here in relationship to what it is that we are trying to seek, or a destination that we're trying to get to. We're if we're continuing to complaining about things, then it's like, okay, what frequency are we sitting in right now? This doesn't mean that we can't be here, but recognize, where does that coming from? Do I have a destination? Is there an expectation? Talk yourself through this stuff. Don't just bypass it and try to be like, okay, no, like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna show up. I'm good. Like, be like, all right, I'm completely sick of it. I'm still gonna go into work. Like, don't. No. No, be there. Have a conversation with yourself. Recognize what's actually happening, creating this inner dialogue in whatever way or fashion that you do. But yeah, I know that that is something that I've just been continuing to see and just like notice. And so for me, I'm really grateful that my mind stays in that curious space. And for some of us, and what we're experiencing and feeling, like the struggles and the pain, it can feel like that's not even a place to get to. Right. So recognizing in your own way how you can begin to welcome here and now, and not only focus on those moments, but focus on everything else as well, because there's so much of it readily available, to us to remember those loving or joyful moments, or the really incredible things that are going on in the world. So recognizing that there is a lot of change going on there. Yes, there is a lot of stagnancy, but there's a lot of change to assist in moving this through. And it really does feel at some level like a split of, okay, holding this type of energy and then going into the world and doing this work. And it's like at some levels we're needing to like start to merge worlds in a way to really get on board with the shifts and the changes that we wish to see for humanity and its relationship with the earth. And yeah, so all of it, ancestral healing, 100%. That's what we're doing right now, every single one of us. All right, I'm gonna go in the chat for like maybe a minute, and then we're gonna do a few readings, um, and then we're gonna hop into our soul circle. Red Mard said, how can we accept our distorted shadow parts without falling with them? It's a really good question. How can we accept our distorted shadow parts? I'm just going to say shadow parts. There can be some distorted ways of like the ego starts to see things, some beliefs that we hold, I feel. That's just me personally and how I see it. without falling into them, without falling with them. So, what has really assisted me in this process is before going into any type of dialogue or journaling or whatever it may be, set yourself up from a higher perspective at the start, whether in whatever way that you do that. Okay. And from that place, allowing that guidance to assist you and speaking to this aspect, allowing that maturing or that acceptance or that welcoming of this part of you. And then from there, seeding into what it is that you want to, excuse me, what it is that you want to be working toward. So this doesn't mean that like, "Oh, that's just a part of me, whatever." It's like, "No, actually, you get to see this part of you and recognize where it came from and know that like, okay, like really come to some sense of understanding without putting it down and really ask it for its wisdom and its truth." Because there is wisdom and truth there, and that offers you an opportunity to step in and start to recognize, how am I recreating from this space? So going into that with a sense of, this is what I'm going to be doing. Do you want to be with me in this or not? As we meet these shadow parts of us. Thank you for your wisdom. This is what we're doing. Are you with me or not? And from that space in our interactions in life and in everything that occurs from that space, we get to continue to choose. Okay, so I feel like that can help with not kind of like going into like, oh, like have a plan. Have a little bit of a plan. Stay open, and not assume that like your shadow self may want to be a part of like with you in this. Like it's a part of you, it's an aspect of your soul in some level, but it's like you do not need to subscribe to that, right? So holding your power in that place. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Um, Shadusia said, "Yep, whole month of sitting with roller coaster of emotions. Crying every day. Yep, I feel you. Sometimes in meditations, clearing. Sometimes just trigger memories. Yeah." And you're like, "Oh, but where do I get to just sit and like have a normal conversation? Normal conversation. What is this stuff? It's like." We choose this. We choose this. On some level, we choose this. We can go back to being autopilot and things like that, but at some level, it's like, no, is this helping the collective? No. Okay. Red Mars. So, okay, so connect with our light before trying to connect with our shadows. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think it can be really helpful to be like, all right, come from a state of like, okay, I'm going to go into this, like not already overwhelmed. Unless you've practiced this enough to where it's like, okay, like you can start to differentiate or return to some sense of like, um, yeah, that higher perspective overall. Those last 2 weeks were heavy. Feeling of being desperate, not finding the exit, and the shadow part coming back, like addictions and heavy emotions. Yeah, can feel ya. Do 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 do. Amazing. Few gray days. I'm feeling completely down super fast. I don't want to grow anymore. I'm tired of clearing. Yeah, this growth. I think I kind of touched on this a little bit. So I'm curious if any of that really resonated with you just before we got into the chat of what I was talking about, and like it feeling overwhelming. Like that's your cue to let source know, let your guides know, let your angels know, like, hey, I'm overwhelmed. And I've seen this happen with a lot of people too. Like, I'm overwhelmed. Like, let them know. Let your body know. Let your higher self know. Right? You have that opportunity to communicate in that way. Right? Recognize what it is that you're choosing, returning to that. And also, this may be a really great time to like start to find more gentler approaches as to holding yourself, loving yourself. And I feel like this is where this idea of liberate love really comes in, is that like our core gets to be that medicine. Our core gets to be that medicine. Our heart gets to be that medicine. It gets to be that place that we can continue to come back to And something that has been really, really powerful is doing really subtle um, like mobility or somatic movement. So not like the whole like dancing and shaking and stuff like that, but like just rocking, like being in bed and doing things, like just rocking, just breathing, not expecting myself to like do anything or need to clear anything. And I think that I personally in this past couple months, which is why I have not been creating content, it's been really intense. Um, and I dealt with panic attacks, especially last year and the year before, that I never experienced before. And I was starting to see like this, it was really like parts of me were really showing up strong. They're like, this is what's happening. Take care of it, please. Like the body was like, no. The emotions were like, no, we got to hold our boundaries, these boundaries that are created from fear, from trauma, from all of these things. So, with all of that going on, like I have been, and I explained this a little bit before, but I know for me, like, oh, like I could just sit in that place of being like, I'm tired of this. Like, ah. And sometimes it's nice to be able to talk about this with each other because then we can kind of like get all that meh out, you know, and be like, I'm tired. Like, oh, why can't we just do this? And then we can return to like that just like laughter of being like, this is wow, this is wild. And this is what we're returning to is that wild sense of our natural state of being. And then from that space, yeah, just I feel like really creating really gentle things, like rocking, moving your hips, listening to music, not needing to go super deep into everything because you don't have to. No one said in order for you to heal that you need to do all of these practices or go deep into anything. It's going to be your actions, your choices, your interactions, the way that you are handling yourself. That is going to make the difference. Right, not you just sitting, I mean, you sitting on a yoga mat and doing your thing, you know? I'm just talking like this general you. Like, yes, it may make a really big difference, but at the end of the day, like, how you interact, how you show up, and yeah, how you're connecting is gonna be what's important, what's gonna change. All right, I guess the heart is the first door to open to find the answers. Even the root chakra is the first chakra. I think the heart is the most important to heal. Yeah, I think they're all very sympathetic, and this comes back to a message in March about recognizing that flow and how they are all deeply connected. During our soul circle, if anyone wants to sign up, I will pin the link here. If anyone wants to sign up, you can join for free. All of my members, you know where to find the link, and it will be a different link for y'all. But we are going to go through um, some chakra work, going through each one from the Earth Star all the way up to the Soul Star. We're going to do some clearing there. Some really like fun kind of gentle clearing. We'll do it with music and things like that. And then we'll have some space uh, to share and just to connect and be and journal, do what we need to do, just like really be in each other's energy and space collectively. So if you want to join, hop in there. I have 3 minutes to do readings. So I think I can get like maybe, let's see. How many readings can I get? Maybe 4? 4 readings. So the first 4 people to put 333 in the chat, you'll get a reading. And if you are a member, I can do your reading in the soul circle. Okay. This is elderberry syrup and sparkling water. Highly suggest. All right. Awesome. So here we go. Peter. Okay, sounds good, Red Mars. Peter, we are going to be pulling from the Native Spirit Oracle deck. This one, I love to read the description. So if you find me doing that often with these, da-da-da, you too. Okay. So take a deep breath, Peter. I already have cards flying. If you have an intention or anything, have that in mind. You don't need to. Let's see what message we have for you. Ancient forest. Okay. Your roots go deep. Incredible, radiant healing strength is available to you and grows within you. Do not doubt your abilities. You're so much more than you can possibly imagine. There's immense, unseen, but very real support around you. You are loved and cherished. You are grounded, stable, and strong as your spirit reaches high into the heavens. Really connecting with trees is another big message here, as they can hold deep support for you as well. Maybe a deep call to return to a sense of grounding within yourself during this month, or whatever your intention was in receiving this. But Peter, there is your message. All right. So, cosmic wisdom, you are next. Take a breath. Such intention. Oh my goodness. Grandmother Earth. Grandmother Earth. Immediately I'm getting that it's this remembrance of your colors, your soul. So important to return to that. There's a big message here. Let's see what this says. Stop and take measure of your life. Assess who you are and where you are. Get grounded. Make plans for the future, but don't act on those plans until you are ready and feel secure in stepping forward. There is a profound source of strength and power within you, and it is expanding now. Put your roots down. Put your feet on the ground. This is a time of preparation and going deeper. Deep in your connection with the earth. Allow the land, Mother Earth, to really hold you, hold space for you, and vice versa, to assist you in the movement process within your life. And once again, shine and bright. Return to that like fun, playful energy. Yeah. That is your reading. And we'll do dreaming with Flor. You are next. You'll be our final reading for today. Okay. Ooh. Flowing river. Wow. Flowing river. Why can't I find this in the book? There we go. Everything is falling into place because you aren't resisting the dirt of the great river of life. It's time to let go. You're entering a period of gracious ease and flow. All is unfolding perfectly and with good timing. When you're in a state of flow, you aren't pushing the river to go faster, and you aren't swimming against it. Let go of the shore and enjoy the ride. So, another message of connecting with water, allowing it to be deeply supportive for you during this time, whether in your showers, the water that you drink, and any beverage that you have, the water near you, around you, listening to it, all of those things, allow it to be an experience. Use your visualization in that process as well. And yeah, to really, really enhance that connection, this ritualistic connection that you have with water. So that is your reading, Dreaming with Flor. Thank you all so much for being here. Please do like the video if you haven't already. If you're not subscribed and you made it this far, please do subscribe. Hopefully, getting back to weekly videos. I'm excited. the energy has changed. We have one more question. What do you know about Yantra? So this isn't something that I have researched much of, but I am in the process of. So once I know a bit more about it, maybe I could talk about it. But it's something that I'm still kind of allowing to ruminate within me. My journey didn't really start with studying different spiritual beliefs or religions or anything like that. It started with yoga, but it was very much an internal self healing type journey in the beginning. And I feel like that's been a majority of my life. And in this past year or two, or a few years, I've been starting to dive a lot more into like research and things like that when it comes to spiritual beliefs and religions and things like that. So yeah. Just letting you know. That's the standpoint that I'm coming from with that, but, I know there is deep connection, and what I do know to of that to the womb, which has been, my place of research at this point, is, like, really looking into, the connection of the womb and these spiritual beliefs and religions and things like that, how that's shifted over time and how that's connected to the dark goddess and, certain events that's happened to lead us to where we are today, so Blah-ba-doo-ba-da-ba-doo. Yeah. All right, I love y'all so much. I'll see you on the Soul Circle. I know that we'll start it at 11:11. All right, I'll see you there in like a couple minutes. Sending you lots of love, and I hope to see you all very soon. Mwah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye.